Ever since creating this indie thing, I lost my job, I lost my girlfriend, my plant died, my favorite chair broke, one of my paintings cracked, I got cursed out, threatened, and defriended by a couple of the actors on the show, and I got several racist emails from some guys who were mad because we were kissing their white women. Would I do things differently? No. So this Indie Thing is an improv-based web series about four friends trying to make it in Hollywood and the interesting people they meet along the way. The show is obviously influenced by Entourage and Curb Your Enthusiasm. Like, I love the improv side of Curb, and I love the Hollywood lifestyle of Entourage. So I took elements of both of those shows and combined them to make this Indie Thing. One of the things that was really important for me was that the show be diverse. And not that kind of diversity where you can tell that the writer had an interchangeable ethnic person just to say, oh, we have a diverse cast. That was definitely an issue that I did not want to have with this Indie Thing. So the title of the show, This Indie Thing, basically I let the actors in the first season pick the title. I gave them a few options, this Hollywood life, this Hollywood thing, this indie life, this indie thing. And so the actors liked this indie thing. And one of the actresses, Sarah, from season 1, she actually noticed that the letters of the show spell tit. So it was like a running gag in season 1 where, and even now, a couple of the actors still called it the tit show. So that's something that I guess now that I've mentioned it will probably continue. So the way I envisioned the show was mixing comedy and drama. Season 1, I think it had maybe a 50% comedy, 50% drama, which I think was a little bit confusing because when we started, it seemed like it was going to be straight comedy. And, you know, I got a couple people saying, why is it so serious? Or this isn't really funny. Well, it wasn't really meant to be a straight comedy. Season 2, I think it was probably 70% comedy and 30% drama. So I cut the drama down a little bit more. And then in season 3, it was probably like 90-10, like still a little bit of drama, but the majority of it was comedy. And I think 90-10 is a good balance. Kevin, he's the actor who, you know, he booked a few gigs, got a little notoriety, but hasn't booked that gig that will take him to the next level yet. Teddy is the kind of actor who things just seem to fall in their lap. You know, he doesn't take the acting classes, he doesn't go to workshops, he doesn't even have representation, and yet he's still able to book gigs and still able to get women throwing themselves at him. He's like very laid back. Antone is the complete opposite. Antone is the guy who will take the acting classes and goes to the workshops and submits to agents and does all the things that actors who are trying to launch their career, he does all of that, and somehow his career is not taking off. So he's a little bit frustrated about that, and he's a little jealous of Teddy. Sean is a little bit different because he is also struggling like Antone, but he's laid back because of the fact that he is able to, while he's waiting for things to happen, he can create things, which is definitely a good skill to have, especially in this day and age. You can't just sit back and wait for things to happen. Sometimes you have to take control of your career, and I think that's what Sean is doing. So for some people that don't know, the majority of the show was shot entirely without a crew. There were only a few episodes where I brought in some additional camera operators. But yeah, the majority of the shows, I was the camera operator, director, writer, editor, sound guy. PA, AD, and I was an actor on the show. So it was definitely a lot of hats to wear. I would say if you don't have patience, don't try to shoot without a crew. So each of the seasons had its own set of problems. Season 1, the problem that I had was trying to convince actors that the show was legitimate, because people would show up, especially the girls, and they're like, okay, who's directing? Me. Who's the actor in it? Me. So, you know, when people had to come do their scenes, they're looking at this project like, oh, this is gonna be some bullshit here. Like you can almost see on people's faces like, what is this bullshit? Like just written all over their face. So that was like a huge problem. And then the episodes, people were complaining the episodes are too long. Season 2, I said, you know what? Okay, I'll make shorter episodes. But I ended up writing so much because I was worried I didn't have enough material that I ended up writing too much material. And actually, season 2 was originally written as 33 episodes, but I ended up cutting out a lot to bring it down to the 27 episodes. And people complained there's too many episodes. For the 3rd season, I didn't care what the length was. I was just like, I'm just going to tell the story, and this is the length. And then people were saying that they want the episodes longer. So it's like, you just can't please everybody. Some people are going to want shorter episodes, some people are going to want longer episodes. And so that's just something that is out of my control. The other thing with season 3 is my mic broke. So we had to use the mic on the camera, so that's why the sound quality isn't as good as the previous seasons. And then also the shoot schedule for season 3 was cut significantly because we had like scheduling conflicts. So what was supposed to be a 15-day shoot schedule was actually cut in half. We shot Josh's scenes in 5 days. We shot Devin's scenes in 7 days. Well, actually 6 days, and then 1 day for ADR. And then we shot Sakar's scenes in 6 days with 2 ADR days. So the schedule was definitely compacted big time. With the locations, the only thing that we had secured was my apartment and the main actor's apartments. That was it. All the other locations, those were last minute. We just showed up and we, by the grace of God, were given the opportunity to shoot at those places. As far as the music is concerned, you know, I'm doing a couple of musical accents that I created. Sakar has a song in there. Devin's Friends, Track 5 music group, they did the theme music for season 1. But the theme music for season 2 and 3 and some of the other songs were done largely in part by the talented Marcus Kirkwood.
What made me agree to do the show in the first place was when I got a copy of season 1. Season 1, I watched it, okay? Now, listen, I didn't just watch this by myself, okay? I had people with me, okay? Because I know that I liked it, okay? And I wanted to get somebody else's opinion. Everybody that I showed season 1 of Thisindiething, they loved it. You know, they were totally glued to it, you know? And so, you know, from that point on, I said, hey, man, this guy got something good going on, man. And, you know, I was just glad to just see people just grinding and just doing what they love, you know, because that's what I'm doing, you know. And so, yeah, that's how I came about doing that, you know.
As far as like the budget, like we shot with no budget. Like I know a lot of people, they either have money or they wait until they have money. I didn't want to wait, and we had no money. So what I did, because I know the actors were working basically for copy and credit, I made their work schedules incredibly short. Like most of the actors worked 2-3 hours tops, in and out. Shoot their scenes, got them out, so that people can just enjoy the rest of their day. And you know, I respect their time for coming to be a part of my project. So I think when you shoot a project and you're not paying, either you should be feeding these people really well, or you should get them in and out. Don't waste their time. And if you can do both, I'm sure that the actors probably appreciate that as well. So a lot of the storylines of this indie thing come from real life events that either happened to me or to a friend of mine, and I just thought it's interesting enough to put in the show. The sex party, the racist director, the lady coughing on the food at a commercial shoot, the guy stealing the girlfriend, the Asian actors going to an audition and being told to act more Asian, people telling me I need to update my wardrobe, and girls showing up to do a kiss scene with a herpes bump. Like all of these were, yeah, real life situations. And let me just go back with the herpes bump, because we had several. It wasn't just one. So if the girls who had herpes bumps, don't worry, it wasn't just you. There were many girls who showed up with a herpes bump to do a kiss scene. And every time I took the kiss scene out and deleted that from the scene, I think it's very rude, because if you show up to do a kiss scene and you have a herpes bump, do you really think someone's going to want to kiss you because you're attractive? Because I can tell you, your looks go significantly down if there's something on your lip that is not supposed to be there. Because I can tell you, if the girls showed up and we had a herpes bump, you best to believe they're not going to do the kiss scene. So why do you think that we're going to kiss you? And I would just like to say, the next girl who shows up to do a kiss scene with me, I'm going to call you out. I'm not even going to lie. I am going to call you out. So get your lip situation in order, and if you have some lip blisters or cold sores, call in sick. Don't show up on set to do a kiss scene with a herpes bump. So one of the things that people always mention when they see the show is, damn, you had a lot of kiss scenes, or the characters on the show have a lot of kiss scenes. And yeah, it's like a lot of kiss scenes, but the kiss scenes are 110% professional. It always annoys me when people think, oh, he just made this show so he can kiss all these girls. Because if the people who said that, if they saw how much work went into making the show, there's no way that they would think that. Because nobody would go through all that hassle just to kiss a couple of girls. It just wouldn't make sense. Like, I literally was at home for months going through improv footage to match scenes together to create the episodes. Like, it was a lot of work. I literally sat in the house. It was eat, sleep, edit. I didn't go to the beach, didn't go to the movies, didn't go out, nothing. I was a hermit. So yeah, nobody would go through all that just to kiss a couple of girls. So the people who say that, look at the show. In addition to Thisindiething, I also made a quick little web series called The Kissing Bandit, which basically, it was like a collection of 10 commercials that seemed random, but if you watch them all in order, they told a story about this guy who was like a player, and then in the end he gets caught. I thought the commercials were pretty funny. There was no nudity, there was no bad language, nothing that would be considered terrorist or whatever. But for some reason, 3 of the videos were flagged as inappropriate and 1 of them was banned. So here's the actual commercial. I took the audio out because I didn't have the rights to the music, and I didn't want them to use that as an excuse to reban the video, although I've seen other people's videos with music that they don't own the rights to, but whatever. Basically, she is telling me in the commercial that she's hungry. I tell her I don't have any food. She's like, let's go to Denny's, and then I tell her I don't have any money. She tells me the prices at Denny's are very good, and they start at $3.99. I tell her that sounds both economical and easy on the wallet. She says, yep. And then we go back to kiss, and that is the extent of this banned, too hot for the internet video. Now, you can go on to the other site and check out the Kissing Bandit, and you'll see all of the videos are exactly the same. Like, the only thing that they have in common is it's a black guy kissing white women, which is 2012. Like, I don't understand why this is still an issue, but if you look at the comments, I mean, when I put the project together, I had no idea that it was going to be so much like racially charged messages coming my way. I think every race has racist people. I know people like to just automatically say it's white, but there are races white, black, Latin, Asian, Middle Eastern. Like, every race has racist people, and every race has non-racist people. And the people who say that that's not true, they're either lying or they don't know what they're talking about. Because I've seen racial comments come out the mouths of every race. So let's just get that straight. I did an episode where Teddy's character runs into a director who tells him point blank, how can black people not say the N-word? I know there's a couple people out there who say we give the word too much power, and if we just keep saying it on and on and on, that eventually the word is going to lose its power. I don't think so, because if anything, it's just gaining more power. Like, I think the way to end the N-word is just like with the other racial slurs, is to stop saying it. I think you're sending a mixed message when you have people who say you can't say the word, only we can say the word, because basically the word is like degrading. So when I hear people say you can't say the word, only we can say the word, what I hear is you can't degrade us, only we can degrade ourselves. So I think we need to, because I can't be the only one that's thinking this, like, we need to, for once and for all, like, just put an end to it. Like, I think a lot of the people who use the word, especially like a lot of musicians, a lot of actors, these people are intelligent enough to create works that don't use the word. So why not just create something where you don't use the word? That's just my thoughts. So what I would like to do next is I would love to raise the money to shoot a Thisindiething the movie. I've never seen a web series turn into a movie before. I think it would be exciting, and I think I would love to answer a lot of the questions. The way I ended season 3, I definitely feel like I left enough questions where it can spring a story along into a movie. What happens with Sean and Sophie? What happens with Antone and Teddy over Tawny? What happens with Kevin and his movie career? So, and I would love to answer those questions and other questions that we didn't get to touch on in a movie. While I'm waiting to have the funding to do that, I'm actually working on another web series that will be airing later this year. Can't go too much into details because we haven't started shooting yet, but it is a Charlie's Angels type action comedy piece that I am really excited about. I think it's going to be pretty funny and pretty cool, so look for that. I think this indie thing, I think it's definitely going to like take off it's just a matter of time. Like, it's slowly building a little steam. Like, when we started in season 1, we had like 10 subscribers, and right now we have almost 180 subscribers, and this is with very little promotion. Like, oh my god, if the actors would just freaking like all promote, like all 200, over 250 actors, if they would all just like seriously promote the show, I think the show would take off. And where I see the show ultimately going is, I would love to get this show on cable, like a HBO, Showtime, something like that. Hint, hint. Where the show can really take off, because I think, especially with Entourage being off the air, that fan base could possibly be interested in a show like this. So hopefully my show has inspired people to create their own projects. I think that's great when people create their own project. Like, I am all for supporting that. I think there's like 3 different types of people in this world. There's people who are doers, there's people who are just talkers, and there's people who want to do but are just waiting for something to inspire them. So hopefully my show will inspire you to go out there and create your own project.